have you been since our last meeting?
I've been pretty good. Just really trying hard to work on the things that we talked about in our last session.
You can see you're really making an effort for this change. How has your weekend or maybe the past couple weeks been since we've talked?
For the most part, it's been okay. I think maybe I've had a couple of times where I haven't been great at, sticking to the goal that we set for trying to get better sleep. But I would say for the most part, it's been pretty good.
Well, good. I'm glad it's been going good for you. There's always going to be some difficulties when trying to make a new change, so that's okay, but I'm glad to see that you're trying to make this change. I know when we first met, you talked about a lot about your work situation, so how has work been for you?
It's been pretty good. I mean, nothing too crazy, just busy with the different projects that I have going on and trying to stay focused with that and not allow, personal matters come into play with that so I can do a good job.
Well, it's good to hear that you're working to balance your health as well as your work and not letting them kind of overlap or cause an issue in another area of your life. What would you say some of your strengths are as a person?
I would say that I am somewhat of a perfectionist when it comes to just getting my job done and doing a good job with it. I'm also always punctual and try to be available for whether it's people at work or my friends or family, just be there for them and help them and support them if they have problems that they want to talk about. So I try to be just overly, not overly, but I try to be super understanding of people and their problems and try to be a good listener. And I feel like that helps whoever it is I'm talking to feel comfortable talking to me or trying to, address their issues or problems that they're having.
So you'd say you're a bit of a perfectionist and you care a lot about your friends and family and you always want to be a good listener and be punctual with them. This sounds like some great strengths that you have.
Thank you.
And what would you see is the best version of yourself?
That's a tough one. I think just genuinely happy with where my life is and, knowing that my kids are good and healthy and my family is all doing well, that I got a good job with, good income that I can, support myself and whatever. I feel like that helps me feel comfortable and less stressed about, just life in the future. But I really feel like, once I kind of let go of stressors or problems that I really don't have control over, that will help me be a better version of myself so that I'm not worrying about what might happen or what somebody might think or say.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to learn especially since you said one of your strengths is sort of perfectionism, so it can be kind of tough to kind of find out the best way to be a perfectionist in the good ways, but not in a negative way where you try to control things that you can't control, which can cause a lot of undue stress on yourself.
Right.
But so it sounds like the best version of yourself you described as being happy, healthy, having a good job, and yeah. Do you have any long-term goals you'd say for trying to get to be your happiest, healthiest, best version of yourself, or would you say you're kind of already where you think you need to be your happiest, best version of yourself?
I think I could always improve and do better, just because I am sort of a perfectionist. So,
Of course.
Just being there for somebody or for my family and being like supportive without letting somebody or something kind of like overstep my boundaries. I think that's something I still probably could work on, because I do care a lot about people and their life and their happiness, and so I can sometimes allow myself to allow somebody to take too much from me or overstep a boundary that I have. And so I just have to be comfortable knowing that I have boundaries for a reason, and not allowing that person or that thing's, my thought of what that might do to them, because I have a boundary, like impede my growth and my moving forward. So that's probably something I could probably continue to work on, is just staying true to those boundaries that I have, so that I don't, cause trouble with my own happiness and my own like comfortability in where my life is going and what I'm doing.
So you want to work on setting more boundaries for yourself with others to protect your own peace.
Yes.
And maintain your happiness.
Yes.
All right, well that sounds good. So tell me about the progress you made on the goals we set last session in regards to your sleep habits.
I would say I did all right. I don't think I've been perfect at it, but I've really tried to make a conscious effort of, setting the downtime, or, turning off devices and not, watching television too soon before bed. I would say I'm probably maybe 50-50 on that. Some nights I don't, some nights I do.
Of course. Always is hard, to immediately right off the bat make that change and go all in with it. So,
right.
It's okay that it's 50-50. There's always room for improvement.
Right.
And I know that's what you strive for, since you stated earlier you're such a perfectionist with sort of things. So it's all right that it's not, 100% success. It's not going to happen right away. But what matters is like there's progress, or, you realize this is something I don't want to do anymore. So,
right.
Do you want to continue to work on this goal, or would you rather switch to something different?
I think I'd like to continue working on this goal, just to make sure I can accomplish it.
All right, that sounds good. So you came in today and you said you've been doing okay since your last meeting, and work's been going good, and some of your strengths you said are you're a perfectionist, and you're punctual, and you're a very good listener, and you like to be there for your friends and family, and do whatever you can for others. And sort of a best version of yourself vision you've had is to be like the happiest, healthiest version of yourself, and maintain the good job that you have, and be able to provide for everybody. And you would like to continue to work towards this sleep habit goal.
Right. Yep.
All right, so tell me any more reasons that you have for wanting to make this behavior change. Have you come across in the past couple weeks any new motivators or other things you've discovered that could be like reasons you want to make this change?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's been pretty much the same since we met last. So no, nothing's really been drastic or big change in my life that would, be contributing to it.
You still just want to work on this sleep so that it doesn't affect other versions of your life, parts of your life, like interacting with others, and like your social battery energy with others?
Yes.
Okay. Since you said it was like 50-50, like results with this change? Did you notice any improvements when you did make the change? Did you notice any positive improvements with your day-to-day life?
Yeah, I would say I've been more, just better sleep causes, a better day and, more focus and clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And so, on the days that I did stay kind of true to that goal, the next day woke up more refreshed and energetic and positive outlook
Mm-hmm.
on my day and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. It's always good to wake up with feeling refreshed and with energy. So I'm glad you experienced that on the days you did successfully make the change. Do you have any sort of motivators within yourself to make this change that could like tie back to your strengths, like being punctual, being there for everybody, being a good listener? Like, do you think any of those sort of strengths you have like could be improved or be better with this change? Better sleep?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just in general, feeling better about myself, I can be a better person outwardly for others. And, I think a motivator I would have too is because I like to do everything right and somewhat perfect if I can. So of course, if I'm 50-50 on my goal, then it's sort of like, okay, I should be 100, So that kind of motivates me to want to do a better job with this. And I think overall, just knowing if I'm setting boundaries for myself, then I should be able to set boundaries for others, which is what I was saying earlier about having better boundaries for other people and how I support other people in my life. So,
well, of course, yeah, it's always good to be able to take things you apply with yourself and apply it to other situations. Boundaries with this sleep habit change you're going through, and like staying focused and 100% on that, how you want to be. It can directly translate to your setting boundaries with others, like you said, as well as, kind of giving you more of the energy and stuff to be able to be the best version of yourself and play to your strengths, because it can be hard to, be a good listener, be punctual, do all those things that you want to do, or would you say you're good at, when you're low on energy and you didn't get as good of a sleep as you'd like.
Right.
So I think that's good that you still want to work on this change, and you have that motivation within yourself to want to be at 100% instead of 50-50.
Yeah.
So what would you say were some barriers that got in your way with this change, with like the 50-50? Some nights you did it, you stuck to your goal, and other nights you didn't. What would you say were some barriers?
I would say just not forcing, but like not being mindful of following the goal that I set. I think just like ignoring it internally, like, oh, I don't have to do this today, I'm fine, or I had a busy day and I didn't have any opportunity to either check social media or watch TV or something, so I'm just going to do this tonight before bed because, it's more like environmental type things that caused me, or just a schedule basically that's kind of caused me to sort of forgo that.
Of course, it can be hard to always, sometimes you have a rough day and you want to be like, I'll just relax with some of the screen time,
Right.
So, it can be hard, but so you think you struggle a little bit with like the internal discipline of sticking to the screen time we set last meeting?
Right. Yep.
Do you think you have any strategies to overcome this barrier with the sort of environmental slash internal motivation?
I think what I should probably do is like set an alarm on my phone that would just be like, 8:30 or whatever time
Mm-hmm.
you have to shut down whatever you're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
that would hopefully kind of get rid of that internal like block that says, oh, I don't have to today.
Yeah. I think that would be a great idea. I know we kind of talked about it last meeting, but it was more so, it was the initial like goal setting and just to see how you would do with
Right.
it. So I think that would be a great idea to try and address the barrier you've had of sticking to the mental side of I need to put my screen away,
Right.
So would you say a goal you would have would be to set that alarm? Do you want to scale it back to 3 or 2 days a week? Was the goal we set too much of like weekdays?
Maybe, yeah. Let's try like 3 days,
Mhm.
and then hopefully that, because I think I would just need to do that just to like force the habit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea.
So 3 days, 3 days of setting an alarm 30 minutes before your bedtime?
I think so. That would be good.
All right. Well, you came in today, follow up from our last meeting to talk about your goal you set with your sleep habits. And you said you were sort of 50-50 with it. And you saw some success some days and some other days you didn't. And some barriers you faced were, the environmental side of, I had a rough day, or, I just need a little bit of like time to cool down from the stress of the day. And you've decided that a good goal to continue to try and make this change would be to set an alarm 30 minutes before you go to bed 3 days a week. To see if that will help with your sleep habits.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.